Welcome back, Hive Mind. This is Shalazar with Hive Mind Gaming, coming at you with another first look video. Today we're going to take a look at Summoner's Glory, Eternal Fire. Alright, so this is what you get when World of Warcraft meets Raid Shadow Legends. They start courting, they have relations, and boom, you have a new video game called Summoner's Glory. So it's a mobile game. It can only be played on your cell phone or tablet. But it's a lot of fun, guys. I tell you, I've been playing it all weekend long, and I've been having a blast with it. So let's get into some highlights for this game. One, it's a complete MMO. You're playing in the world with other players, as you can see people running by me right now in game. The gist of the game is that you're a summoner, and so you have a character that you actually build up. You get equipment for your character. The cool thing is your actual look changes depending on the armor that you're wearing, the weapon that you're using, things like that. You've got your basic stats like most cell phone games. You just got basic stats like HP, your hit points, your physical attack, your magic attack, your physical defense, your magic defense, and your speed. And then you've got your extra stats, which are your crit rate, crit damage, your effect accuracy. So if you have stuff like stuns or freezes, things like that, if you're putting some kind of effect on the bad guy, that's the stat that helps land it. And then, of course, your effect resistance is what helps protect you against those kinds of things. So just, I mean, really basic ideology on when it comes to the stats. You can buy special skins for your champion or your summoner, things like that. You can buy the different types of skins, and then keep in mind, guys, this is a brand new game, so there's a lot about this game that's still a little buggy, but they are working hard. They've got a Facebook, or they have a Facebook group, but they also have a Discord group that they are very active on, and they communicate a lot with their community, which is fantastic. Like I said, I've only been playing for the weekend, and I've already spoke with the team, the design team, personally about stuff. So currently it's only on your cell phone, but they are thinking about making it for the PC as well. So keep that in mind. They don't know when that'll happen, but they do plan on having that happen. So currently I am playing it on BlueStacks. That's why it's a little laggy for me. BlueStacks is always laggy for me. There's never any lag on my cell phone, just so you know. So that's not the game. The lag is not the game that you're seeing. It's actually the BlueStacks. So let's get into it. So you've got your character that you build up. Now, like most or all cell phone games, you've got shards that you pull, or books, or whatever you want to call it. For this game, they're called books, and are actually grimoires, I guess. So basically what it is you're a summoner, and you're summoning phantoms, and the phantoms will fight with you. These are the summoning books here. Now, if you use the basic summoning book here, it's just going to give you fragments of champions that you can build later. And then these are your other books. So let's take a look at this. This is an ancient tome. So you can summon one at a time, or you can summon 6 at a time. Now, this is a little confusing. I wish that they had 2 books here to show that it's multiple books. Same here. So I have 62, so it shows how many you have right here in the bottom. And then this is how many, if you want to do one at a time, you choose one of these. If you want to do 6 at a time, you choose these. So like I said, we'll go ahead and pop this one right here. This one's going to give me 2 fragments. So it gave me 2 puzzle pieces, or 2 fragments to these two phantoms. Now if I use these, like if I use this one 6, then I'll get 6 different phantoms at different rarities. Now their rarities are done differently. So the way their rarities work, so each champion has 3 different rarities. So you have the A rarity, which is basically your common. You have the S rarity, which is your uncommon. And then you have your SS rarity, which is your rare. So common, uncommon, rare. But it's one but each champion has those 3 rarities. And the reason why it's important is because your SS is going to have your best stats. And then if you have the same champion, but as an S, it's the exact same champion, has the exact same abilities. It's just that his stats are lower. And then the A is the exact same champion, exact same abilities, except their stats are lower. So you can still play with the champion if you get it. Like all these are A's. So I can still play with this goblin if I get it, if I really like it, and it's, you know, a great champ for my team that I'm running. I can still play with it until I get an S or an SS, and then I can upgrade. So that's one thing I kind of like about the game. It's interesting how that works. And then, of course, it tells you right here. I don't know what the B is. So it says get B to S phantoms. And this one is get A to SS phantoms. So you can get SS phantoms here. So we'll go ahead and summon those, because we're summoning 6 of those. And if it is going to be an SS champion, when it summons them in that circle, you'll see like a purple, or a gold glow to them when they get summoned. That's how you know that you're going to get an SS. And then, of course, it'll show it here. Now, this right here is an actual XP champion, so this is going to help you level, which I'll go over that in just a moment. Now, the Epic Summoning Book works a little bit different. Now, you only get S or SS champions or phantoms from this book. Now, when you summon this book, which I've got 16 of them, but when you summon them, you automatically summon 6 at a time. So usually when you're going to summon with these, you usually want to go to the forge. And the reason you want to go to the forge, because that's usually where everyone goes to summon. And so there's usually people standing around, and there's a reason why they're standing around. Because when you summon the Epic Tome, it puts out a thing on the ground where there's 4 little stars. And it gives you a timer. Unfortunately, there's no way to back out. So if like no one joins, there's no way to back out. See, this guy just joined, so he's siphoning. See if anyone else joins. No one's joining yet. Come on, 2 seconds. All right. So either way, so as you summon, it summons them, and it's a better chance to get an SS champion for every person that is doing it. Now, when they join in like that, they get a rare book. So they get a gold book. So we didn't get any SS champions. So they get one of these every time they help out. So if there was 4 people, then I would have got a better chance of summoning the SS champions. Now, some of the the phantoms, sorry, I keep calling them champions because Raid Shadow Legends. For phantoms, the different types of phantoms, there are classes when it comes to phantoms. There's actually 5 types of phantoms. There's the warrior phantom, which shows you up here. There's the mage, an assassin, the body shield, which is going to be your tank, and then the support, which is going to be anywhere from a buffer, debuffer, or a healer, that kind of thing. So the cool part is that you can set up your team on how you want to, when you're rolling around killing stuff. You can actually set up your team here, and then you can also set up 2 formations and choose which one you're going to use at the time. And then there's the squad down here. Now, the important part about the squad, you can only set up 2 other champions or phantoms to go with you. But the cool part is when you do something with a friend, you can actually team up with someone and go into an instance. And when you do, you'll each have 3 champions. You'll have your character and then 2 other phantoms with you. So you can actually organize that once you get into a guild, or you're playing with a friend, something like that. Then you can actually organize it where someone has a tank and a healer and the other person has 2 DPS, or one is a tank and a DPS and the other person has a healer and a DPS, something like that. Either way, so you can build on that. Another cool part about the game is when you're building your character, your abilities, as you can see, this is only stats. You don't actually see any abilities on the character, because your abilities are based on your weapon. So depending on the weapon that you have, depends on what your abilities are. So it's going to tell me, like here, it's the Berserker Axe. So the Berserker is going to give certain abilities, as well as each one's going to say class, and then it's going to be warrior, and all warrior classes are going to have HP, where all... Well, let's see if I've got another one here. Yep, so this one here is the Bloodthirsty Saber, and it's on the killer class, so all killer classes are going to have crit rate increased by 30%, for example. And then each weapon is going to have 4 abilities, and that's going to be the abilities that your character will use while in battle. So it's actually really neat how that works. And then, of course, the actual gear is designed to be set gear, just like most MMOs, where you grind out gear. So if you have a 4 pieces of one set, you'll get 1 ability, and then if you have the full 6-piece set, you'll get the second ability. So it's actually kind of neat how that works. Again, just like an MMO, just like WoW in some cases, you can actually set up queues to join instances, things like that. There's tons of free stuff. The prices in the shop are, just crazy inexpensive when it comes to how much stuff costs. They give a lot of free stuff throughout the game. Here's where you can buy some phantoms as you're accumulating resources. The one thing about this game that is kind of annoying is that there are so many different types of resources. Lots and lots of resources. But like an MMO, there's a lot of stuff to do. So, like most mobile games, there is an energy cost, a vigor cost, to go out and do dungeons. So the cool part is there's an actual real world map. So you can do the dungeons and spend all your vigor, but once you run out of vigor, you can literally go out into the world map and just fight stuff. That doesn't cost you vigor. So you can literally grind out the levels of your champions to increase their level and still have stuff to do. You can literally play this game 24/7 if you wanted to. And by that, I mean, you can go to bed, leave them camped out in a spot that constantly spawns champion or monsters, and your phantoms will continuously gain levels by just sitting there farming, because you can set your champions to auto fight. So literally the thing that you did when you played WoW, World of Warcraft, and you got in trouble for when you set up a macro to farm mobs, they built into this game so you can do it in this game with no problem as a part of the game. So kind of neat how that works. And so there's a lot of stuff about this game that I really, really like and really enjoy. And like I said, I've actually been really enjoying how it works. Now, one thing that's different about it than most MMOs when you're dealing with the phantoms and trying to level them up, as you can see, there's these Roman numerals down here. So most phantoms will start out with no Roman number, like this one, no Roman number at all. So what happens is when you go in here, and it's a little wonky on, I mean, there's several ways to level up your phantoms. One, you can just level them up by upgrading them. And how you do that is you just click the upgrade button and you just feed other phantoms to it. So you could do it two ways. You can either feed other phantoms to it. Let's see if we've got any phantoms of his. Yeah, there we go. So you can feed other phantoms just like him to it. Now, if I used another SS champion just like him, then I would automatically level 100% chance to level up one of his skills. Since I only have the S one, which is one tier lower, then I get a 10% chance to increase one of his skills by 10%. And it didn't do it. All right, so we didn't hit our 10% chance. Now I think it's additive and not individually. So like when I use those two, I think it became a 20% chance, because usually when I do about 5 at a time, I usually almost always get, I would say about 50% of the time I get one of the skill upgrades. So the upgrade or the skills, each skill has 4 levels. So you can upgrade each skill 3 times on each champion. So, and of course they get increasingly better every time. So that's one way to level them up. Another way is just to farm bad guys, like I mentioned before. Go into the real world and fight. Another way is to evolve them. And now how you do that is you click on the evolution, you use this resource here, and then you get 2 other people. Now this is all based off of he's a water type phantom. So when we go into here, we can only use water type phantoms to do it. So, and I only need 2 because we go right here and it tells us what we actually need. So it says any quality, same element. So it's got to be a water because he's water, and then any quality, meaning that it can be A, S, or SS. Obviously we want to use the A. And then we just evolve him, and then he becomes a Roman numeral down here. He gets the Roman numeral 1, and his stats get much better. So that's basically how the Roman numerals work. And of course, the higher you get when it comes to evolving, there's adds yet another resource that you have to farm. And then of course you have to have other, at this point, to get to level 3, you have to have other phantoms that are level 2. So yeah, so it's interesting on how you rank up your champions and how you make them better and survive more. And then on top of that, your phantoms also have gear as well. Then they're called runes. So, and the runes are just like gear, just like your gear as a champion, where you have set bonuses, except that usually it's a 2 and 4 piece set, and then also has your base stats. So if you ever played Raid Shadow Legends, this is just like the gear you get in Raid Shadow Legends for your champions there. So each location has a base stat that that can be there. So for instance, like this location will only ever be a speed stat, and then you get extra stats on top of that. Where this one will only be magic attack percent, physical attack, and physical attack percent. So when it comes to when it comes to the locations that have either a flat stat like magic attack flat stat or magic attack percentage chance is always going to net you more in the long run. But guys, when you're starting out, it's not gonna matter. Use your flat stat if that's all you've got, because a percentage is not gonna give you that much extra when you're starting out, because you don't have a lot to add to it, because it's taking a percentage of what you currently have. Well, if what you currently have is not that high, then that 1% may not be as high as 300 flat stat. So you just got to weigh it. But in the long run, when you get higher level, your percentage is always going to be better. So, but in the beginning, it doesn't matter. And actually, in my opinion, take it or leave it, when you're starting out, find out what champions you really enjoy playing with, phantoms you really enjoy playing with, and put any kind of runes on them that you can get a bonus from. And the reason why I say that is because it doesn't matter in the beginning. If you play Raid Shadow Legends, it's a pain in the butt because it costs you silver to remove the gear. It doesn't cost you anything in this. It costs you nothing. So absolutely just throw the equipment on there because you can take it right off. It does not hurt anything. So absolutely use every bit of the equipment that you find for the runes that you find for them, because it doesn't hurt not to. So other than that, what I'll probably be doing is I'll probably be going over individual things about the game, because when I first started, it was really confusing because there's just so much. It's really confusing, and the quests, because I read every quest as it popped up, everything. So it just didn't explain it really well. A lot of the stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff it did really good on, but there was a lot that just didn't really explain much. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably make other videos about specific things. That way, if you have a specific question, you can go to that specific video. My best suggestion right now is if you're brand new to the game and you want to play it, go check out my buddy Stu Gaming. And because there's a link, or a code, there's a code when you're building your character. When you get to the character select screen, that asks you if you want to be a male or a female, at the very bottom, there's a code in there, and you put his code in. 1, he'll get credit for it, but 2, you'll get a free starter pack out of it. So you'll get some extra stuff. So worth going and checking out, and worth putting that code in. But other than that, let's go help this guy out. All right, so this is us helping this guy out. He's in Bionic, which is another... Bionic is another content creator from Raid Shadow Legends. So this is this guy summoning, see, and we just got a free book out of it. And he got a bunch of stuff out of it. All right. So the only other suggestion I have for you is do the story. Constantly do the story missions, because unlike most games where everything unlocks as you level, it doesn't work that way in this game. The way this game works is it unlocks stuff as you're doing the story missions. So keep that in mind. Constantly do the story as much as you can. But other than that, guys, if you liked what you've seen and you want to see more, hit the like button and join the Hive by subscribing. And we'll see you soon. Bye.